boy was afraid to use the bathroom alone, so he made his 80-year-old grandmother follow behind him. While Jack squatted in the outhouse, his grandmother stood guard at the door, braving the bitter cold wind. This was life in a remote mountain village, where grandmother wanted nothing more than to give her grandson the very best of everything. But Jack still looked down on his grandmother. When he saw her using her hands to pick up food and place it in his bowl, Jack immediately dumped both the food and rice back into her bowl. Then he grabbed a can of food he'd brought from the city and wolfed it down. After the meal, grandmother rummaged through her cupboard and pulled out some precious candy she'd been saving, offering it to Jack. But he didn't even glance at it. He just turned around and went back to his handheld game. Grandmother understood that Jack didn't like her, yet she never uttered a single word of complaint. One day, grandmother asked Jack to help her thread a needle. The boy impatiently paused his game and deliberately pulled the thread extra long, just so he wouldn't have to interrupt his gaming for too long. But suddenly, his game device died. The next day, Jack demanded money to buy batteries. Grandmother couldn't speak and could only turn out her empty pockets to show she had no money. But Jack wouldn't give up. While she was washing clothes, he came asking for money again. Grandmother could only gesture at her chest to indicate she had nothing. Unexpectedly, Jack shoved her aside. After grandmother finished washing the clothes, he actually kicked over a freshly cleaned flower pot, then urinated on her shoes and even threw her only pair of rubber boots into the toilet. Left without shoes, grandmother had no choice but to walk barefoot up the mountain to fetch water. Even when the soles of her feet were cut and bleeding, she didn't blame her grandson, because Jack was her only family. One day he started clamoring for KFC. Grandmother had no idea what KFC was, so Jack had to act out the shape of a chicken. To get her grandson some chicken, grandmother took the medicinal herbs she'd gathered from the mountains, grabbed her walking stick, and left the house. She walked over 10 miles of mountain paths, trading her herbs for a chicken. On the way back, it started pouring rain, but grandmother didn't take shelter. She hurried home through the downpour. By the time she got back, she was soaked to the bone. Grandmother didn't pause to rest. She first tucked Jack in properly, then quickly sharpened her knife and butchered the chicken. When the chicken was done stewing, grandmother brought it to Jack and even handed him a drumstick. But this wasn't the fried chicken Jack wanted. He knocked over the rice bowl and crawled under his blanket, crying and throwing a tantrum. Grandmother silently crouched down and picked up every grain of rice from the floor, putting them in her mouth one by one. But she couldn't bear to touch the chicken meat. She saved it all for her grandson. That night, Jack woke up hungry. Unable to resist, he lifted the pot lid and finally devoured the food ravenously.